these are the manufacturers, and what I will say about the manufacturers is that all of these companies basically have a support person that can work with you. A lot of them have ostomy nurses basically that they employ to answer questions. It's good to contact them to get on their website. They all have educational products that can walk you through changing your appliance, and also that can help you with any questions that you might have. The other things that they will offer basically is samples of their products, and as they improve on their products, they will also send the updated products to you. They have newsletters that you can also get from these companies. So they're good resources to have if you're looking to try something different. A lot of times if I send my patient home with one company, I will get samples of others so that the patients can basically look at the variations and basically make a determination on which product best suits their lifestyle and what they would like to use. All of these companies also have charity programs. That is, they will supply products to you free of charge. They have different requirements, but they're very, very simple. Basically, if you're in need of getting products.
And each of them have a lot of different products based on your specific needs, as well as one-piece or two-piece devices.
What we have here basically is a sample of a product from each of the companies. There are other companies, but these are the major companies that you'll find readily available here in the United States. As you notice, they all have some type of spout on the end. Basically, I look at my patient's dexterity to figure out, can they use the pull, or would they be better with the flip tab, which is by Conduits and Hollister. Cymed and Coloplast basically will have the pull tag. Some of my patients with arthritis have problems with the pull. They do better with the flip tab. And so looking at basically the dexterity and what it's easier for you to empty is something else that we also consider when looking at the products. Every now and then we run into a patient basically who might have an allergic response to the wafer or the product. Most of these products are latex-free. Well, all of them are latex-free. And they're basically made out of gum and coria. They change a little because they're from a different company. But if you're allergic to one or have a reaction to one or the other, there are other systems that we go to. I found that I had one patient that could only use the Cymed. But I haven't had anybody with a truly allergic response in a very, very long time to the product backing. So Daryl or Ann, have you guys run into any allergies with any of the products that you're using?
Hi, I've been extremely fortunate that I have not really had any adverse allergies against any of the products. It's just easy to use certain ones, as you say about pull.
Now, Ann, you dance a lot. Are you comfortable in the one-piece, two-piece? Do you need a belt? Can you talk a little bit about activity? I think a lot of times when I'm talking to patients, their concern is activity and mobility. You know, what am I going to do? How can I function? But you danced beautifully one night. I saw you, and no one would have known you had an ostomy if you hadn't told us.
Well, I'm very fortunate that I had great care when I had the surgery, and I went with they actually give you a step down program. So they give you, my wound ostomy nurse gave me 3 separate products. And as
Mm-hmm.
my stoma was changing, I changed companies. So the one I ended up with was Symed. And
Okay.
Symed is, it was created for a triathlete. So they swim in it, they run, and they ride bikes. And it's a very low profile product.
Mm-hmm.
And it's very easy once it's on. It's a little bit more complicated to get it on than most products, and it
Mm-hmm.
is a one piece.
Okay.
So I've tried all the products, and I've tried one pieces and two pieces, and for me the best option was always the one piece
Very
because I've
good.
had failure on the two piece. But Symed, I majority of the time I use Symed.
Okay. And what you find is it depends on your body type, what you're doing, and various activities. And you're absolutely correct. And what I tell my patients is basically we'll send you home with one product, but we send you samples of another. And basically, what works for you works for you. It doesn't mean that you did anything wrong because a lot of times patients will think that basically I'm doing something wrong, I'm not doing it correctly. That's not necessarily so. What we try to figure out is what works for you with your activities and your lifestyle. So the other takeaway is there is no wrong product. It's the product that best fits you because a lot of times patients say, well, what do you think? And again, we'll basically let you try more than one product. And normally the patients come out figuring out which product works best for them. Daryl, any
So,
comments?
yeah, so I have tried the 3 major Coloplast, Convatec, and Hollister, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
loyal to what I started with, and that was a Hollister 2-piece. And the thing
Okay.
I like about the Hollister is the flip nozzle, um,
Mm-hmm.
because just doing the pull tab, I wasn't as accurate at aiming, shall we say,
Okay.
without the control of the tab. Also, it's easier positioning for me seeing the stoma when I'm putting the wafer down, and then adhering um, the pouch to it. Now, there sometimes is user error where I don't click good enough, but again, that's a user problem, not a product problem.
Okay. The other takeaway from what Daryl and Ann are saying and what I tell my patients is basically there will be some mishaps. But again, even with my normal anatomy, I have mishaps. If I wait too long because I'm older, there's a mishap. And what I try to tell my patients is basically this is a new norm. But again, basically you can become comfortable after a while. Most of my patients, and Ann and Daryl, you can comment on this, they say, how long will I have to rehab? I would say 3 months, you're feeling comfortable. By 6 months, you're really comfortable. But most of my patients tell me that basically they've settled in, they figured out some things within a year. So I tell everyone, give yourself a year. There will be changes. Now, will there be changes after a year? Of course they will. But basically, you're pretty comfortable and confident after a year's time. What do you
And
think, guys?
I definitely had a learning period. One of the first ventures out, um, I learned about how to wear pants because of the
Mhm.
mishap. That
Mhm.
that my pants was constricting the pouch, so
Okay.
that resulted in me leaving early because I had an accident. Um, you'll learn. It's also a thing about learning how to monitor your liquid intake prior to something. So if I go for a massage, I know to limit the liquid I do before then because um, I'm on my stomach for a long time, and I don't want that pressure on um, the pouch and whatnot.
Okay, very good. I try to tell my patients to take activities a little at a time. When they first go home, get accustomed to being at home for a week or two. And then I tell them to gradually go to church, go out to dinner, try on different clothing, and see how they feel. One of the major questions is, and I'm glad you mentioned that, Daryl, is basically, do I have to buy new clothes? That's a good excuse if that's what you want to do. But normally you can get back into your normal clothes. And so with the women, we always joke about that. It's a good thing to tell the husbands, oh, I need my new clothes. But basically, after all the swelling goes down, most patients are able to wear their same clothing again. Daryl, you had to make an adjustment because of where the belt hit on the ostomy appliance. My men will sometimes have to, because most of my men, and Daryl, I'm not sure where you wear your belt, they wear them a little low. And so the pouch is usually above where the belt line is, and they do have to figure out how to loosen the belt just a little bit. But they figure it out in time of how to adjust wearing their pants. So we tell you to give a trial run even at home with wearing your clothes. Sometimes patients bring their clothing to the hospital, and we do some trial runs while they're here, even at the hospital, and showing them how to wear them prior to going home. And
now, yes, the only adjustment that I really conceded to a little bit was getting rid of any kind of Spanx or anything very tight in that area. But I tend to wear boy shorts that keep it nice and flat and low profile. So majority of the time, especially when I'm changing into costumes quite frequently, I do also restrict a little bit of my intake of liquids as I'm competing. And then when I come off the floor, then I resume as much water as I can. But I try to keep, so there's no more bikini shorts bikini anything that would cut it in half.
Okay.
I just wear like the boy shorts. I think that's the only concession I really did in the wardrobe. And majority of everything that I wear, I haven't had that many problems.
Very good.
And so
Go ahead,
I
Daryl.
actually have kind of two kinds of pants. Ones that fit below the stoma, and then some that are higher waisted, so they kind of conceal everything. And it'll kind of depend, especially if it's above the stoma. I don't wear a belt at all. So it's all a thing of trial and error.
Yes. Yes. Most definitely. So basically, again, patients tend to figure out what best works for them. I have a lady, and we're going to show you some accessories on the slide a little later, that basically she found out that the loose jockey fit underwear, she needed to feel secure, so she basically bought them, and she came over and she showed me. She said, Jocelyn, this is what worked for me. So again, all of the things that we're talking about and saying are just guidance of what we found sometimes works for the patient. And then so you, again, everybody is individual. Daryl and Ann basically have urostomies. I don't, but I take a lot of information and pass it on from my patients, and we share, and then it helps the next person to be able to deal with this and to know that they can deal with it. And then in the long run, basically, you get back to your norm, to your new normal, that you can wear what you were wearing. You just might have to make some adjustments in that area. Next. So these are some of the accessories for the hernia and the prolapse. Coloplast just recently. This was pretty new on the market for the United States. Came out. This is their hernia belt. New Hope has been around for a very, very, very long time, and that is their answer. And then the Stealth belt. And Daryl actually wears the Stealth belt, and he you a little bit more about it. But these are the products that basically, when the physician sends the patients to the office for us to see, that we will introduce them to try to just kind of reduce that hernia so that the pouch won't keep coming off, and to provide that abdominal support that the patient needs when they get the hernia. Daryl, you want to talk about your experience with?
Sure. So Stealth Belt, is to me is a great product. It definitely supports my pouch, and it really has kind of helped me along the way. Even my doctor has commented on he has more and more patients wearing them. Also, I'm a Stealth Belt ambassador, a brand new one. And so if you use that code that you see on the screen, it will get you 10% off the product. They also have a number of different offerings. You can get standard black, you can get custom colors and whatnot. So it's a great product, and the product was designed by an ostomate who's very active. He's part of a NASCAR pit crew. So, it's all about keeping active and living close to new normal.
Yes, most definitely. And again, as I said, if there's no decrease or obstruction of urine from your stoma, the physicians most likely will send you for one of the support belts to help with that. Normally, they don't consider going back in or having surgery unless there's an obstruction or pain in that, excruciating pain in that area. So these are some of your options for that. Next. This is not a belt or anything like this. This is a company, and it's called Ostomy Secrets. And the story behind Ostomy Secrets is a young lady had an ostomy. She was very young, and she felt as if she was not sexy enough for her husband. So she went home and designed underwear. I'm showing this wrap because this is the most popular product, and it comes in black and beige. And basically the pouch fits on the inside. A lot of my runners and some of my construction workers, people who are very, very active, they find that this is very, very comfortable, and it holds them. So basically, you put the pouch on the inside, and it makes the patient say they feel a whole lot more secure when they have it on. A lot of patients who swim, but she does have swimwear. She has male and female undergarments. And so if you go to Ostomy Secrets, you'll be able to see her whole line of products. The interesting thing about this company also is that everybody there has an ostomy. So no matter what you're looking for or needing help with, they can basically help you with what you're looking for. Again, it's not for prolapse or anything like that. It's mainly cosmetic all around, or for just a little bit more support.
And if you Google ostomy apparel, there are products available. I don't remember where I purchased it, but I have a pair of swimming trunks with a little pouch that supports the appliance.
Okay. Next.